This is something I forgot to mention on that call. The city of San Diego has been trying to get in contact with me for the past month because we're disrupting their affordable housing, in the city. Like, so many property owners are getting leases to us in the city of San Diego to where property owners are mad that other property owners are saying yes to us.
Wow.
So, like, in situations like that, companies like Zillow and companies like Airbnb can find out about us and then throw $50 million into a project to compete with us.
Fuck being rational, give them what they ask for. It's not enough.
25.
But it's not enough. You bitches that'll reach that, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough. Somebody gotta do it. I made them niggas mad. Yeah, somebody gotta do it.
All right, so just briefly speaking on the author topic, I have been fortunate enough to be an author in a book speaking about real estate, and I got to talk about Airbnb. If any of you want a copy, just come to me at the end of this and I'll give you a free copy.
Enough. Few solid niggas left, but it's not enough. Few bitches that'll reach that.
Supporting Landon on his journey of what he taught me so far with regards to how to leverage everything as far as Airbnb. He showed me a whole lot of things that actually made sense to me, because where I live by the shore. I'm surrounded by military bases, by schools, nurses that come in and out, foreign exchange students that come in and out of the state of New Jersey. So by me working and cooperating with him, I got the opportunity to go ahead and use his expertise and his knowledge to go ahead and leverage the area where he can make a fortune and wealth with regards to getting to the next level together. And by doing everything that we need to do with regards to Landon, I appreciate everything he's done. He's given me a lot of information, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
I've also been able to talk to the leader of a real estate network group. This was like a year ago, but I was able to talk about my platform and rental arbitrage and Airbnb to real estate agents. A lot of them have no idea how they can make money off of leases or off of selling properties or helping people buy properties to get started in Airbnb, so they love to hear that information. But today, I will be sharing a series of lessons that have allowed for me to create an impactful product that will allow for me to change millions of lives over the next few decades. In addition, these lessons have enabled me to help every influencer I've worked with through Zine, which is my company, add an additional $150,000 a month to their business within the first 3 months. So here's how the day came to be. So I played football at the University of Cincinnati. I tore my ACL in 2016, and I started thinking about money. In 2016 to 2017, I saw a problem. My teammates and I wanted to find a way to make more money without leaving the house because football made us too busy and I was injured. I had nothing to do. So the solution was to create a website that allowed everyone to post things of similar interest to sell for a profit and make money. This is lesson number 1. Find a problem, create the solution. So I started an arbitrage shoe business. You guys have heard of rental arbitrage, but you could do arbitrage in so many other ways. So what is arbitrage? Arbitrage is the simultaneous purchase and sale of the same or similar asset in different markets in order to profit from tiny differences in the asset's listed price. So I focused on allowing my teammates to post their new or used shoes for profit on my website. This allowed for me to never have to own majority of the items that were posted for sale on my site, and leveraging the inventory of my teammates to be fulfilled on those orders. In college, I would give access to anyone that wanted to be an authorized seller on my store. I called it Dino's Rack. I was copying like Nordstrom's Rack, and I just called it Dino's Rack. And then they would post their shoes. When a customer purchased, the seller would be sent the shipping label, so that the issue that I always dealt with was my teammates were too lazy. So anytime someone purchased, they would take way too long to ship the product. So I told them I would send someone to their to wherever they lived. They would pick up the order and deliver it themselves. So the way that I did it was, in college, if you are an intern, you get credits for your classes, but it has to show up as a business. So I had a business, and I'm a college student, by the way. I had another intern, someone that wanted to be an intern to get credits, work for me so that they could pick up deliveries and ship them so that they could get credits in their classes.
It's not enough.
And I was doing terrible in school, by the way. Shoes would be shipped, and I would keep 5% from the seller, which was my teammate, and my teammate would be sent the difference. And that was also like, I was able to save $11,000 as a college athlete, which was pretty cool at the time. So if I wanted to ship my own shoes for profit, I kept the shoes with my parents, or I sent my parents new releases, and then they would then send those shoes out, so I didn't have to have all the inventory in person. Like at the time I was like unorganized, so like I just knew like it would just be complicated. I knew if my parents had it, they were gonna make sure that they did everything right, and they could take care of everything. I was reading books at the time. I was collecting shoes. I was also on a podcast talking about owning a shoe business. At the time, the Big Baller brand was like blowing up, so I got to talk about that as well. That's how that all happened. And then in addition to shoes, I started a YouTube channel, which turned into revenue when I combined my likeness, which was illegal at the time. You couldn't use your likeness to make money. And I would use it based off of trends and shoes and basically any videos that I wanted to create. Now, everything came to a halt when the university gave me two options. The two options was either I could continue being an entrepreneur and give them all my money, or I could not be an entrepreneur and focus on football and school. Yeah. So I made the worst decision, and I allowed them to control my future. And it was because I didn't want to disappoint my parents and things like that. And that's why I say it was the worst decision, because looking back, I shouldn't have made that decision. I don't really regret it, because I would not be here without it, but I'm just looking back, I would have not made that decision. So lesson number 2, true success and lasting happiness comes when you believe in your dreams with a conviction stronger than anyone else ever could. So post-college, 2019 to 20, I got my first job at Tesla. I was laid off 3 months later. I then learned web development in 3 months and picked up a job building websites for car dealerships in 2019. I had only learned 60% of the job, and they actually hired me because of my ambition. So, I mean, I applied, I was calling them, I was telling them I'm ready to work whenever, like, I just learned, but I'm willing to learn more. Like, they, like, that's the same way I got my job at Tesla. Like, they just could tell the ambition, and they, hired me. When I got the job at Tesla, I didn't have a resume. So, like, it still worked. So from January 2020 to June 2020, I saved $23,000 from side hustles and my main job to buy a duplex using an FHA 203K loan. If anyone knows about a 203K loan, you're able to finance the renovation costs of whatever you buy in your loan. So your payment is based off of the purchase price, the interest, and the renovation costs. So number 3, learn a skill, it pays, and then invest. In 2020, this was very, very important to note. At the bottom it says, so in 2020, I still had a job. I didn't even have a business yet. I just had bought a property, did not have a business, I just had a job. I said, goals that will happen before 2022. I know I said that, but I also put $70K in a month by May 17th, 2022. Mind you, I had no business, just a job that was not paying me. I mean, it wasn't paying me anything. So lesson number 4, set bold, audacious goals so big that they seem unbelievable even to you. Remember, the universe reflects the energy that you put out. This includes the words that you speak. Speak life into your vision. Damon said it earlier, speak it. Even if it just sounds uncomfortable, because at some point it's going to be normal. By December 2020, it was fully renovated, and my plan was to long-term rent on one side and live on the other side for free. I lived on the other side for free, but actually a friend told me about this thing called Airbnb during Christmas of 2020. So I took action, and within 3 days from him showing me his bookings for December, I had the other side of the duplex furnished and rented. And had furniture that was rented from Big Lots and listed on Airbnb. A week later, my entire January of 2021 was booked. Now, that right there is a little misleading, because I had no idea what I was doing. So my prices was so low that my calendar got booked out.
Money is money.
So by February 2021, I was fully convinced in Airbnb. I went full throttle in Airbnb, but I also decided to fully pursue my marketing agency for realtors while living on the other side of my duplex that was an Airbnb. I just showed like my calendar, like me working, and then an ad. This was an actual ad that I paid to have go online, and it worked. So, just show it, like kind of just be funny and humorous. It'll work because people will laugh. So while working my 9 to 5 and collecting profits on my Airbnb, I was able to use the money to fund my agency and pay my bills. So this was like Airbnb bookings, you know, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool when you do something that you kind of didn't believe, but you just did it because you saw somebody else do it, and then you see it works and you're like, oh yeah, this is the real thing. So I also took out a loan to fund my agency for ads and hiring costs. I don't recommend it looking back, but you know, I wouldn't be here if I didn't do it. My duplex on Airbnb was making great money, but I was throwing all the money into my marketing agency. And in fact, I was doing so well that my girlfriend wanted to pursue Airbnb with me. So I accepted the offer, of course. But instead of buying a property, we pursued rental arbitrage because my friend said it was easier. And it is. You don't have to go buy a property. You can just rent somebody else's property and put it on Airbnb and make the same amount of money and probably have less expenses than the actual property owner. And I actually know that's true because I own a property. So I had never gotten Airbnb coaching, nor did I think that I needed it from judging the performance of the property that I owned. And that was a huge mistake. You guys are about to learn that real quick. Like, just because you're doing well in owning something doesn't mean you'll do well in a whole nother strategy. It's a whole nother strategy for a reason. So I ordered furniture, and because all my money was going to my agency and my property bills and traveling, of course I was traveling. I was making money on Airbnb. Like, I just had to travel. I was going to Jamaica, Mexico. So I decided to apply for credit and use $15K to fund this rental arbitrage business because I believed in myself so much. I also decided to use a property locator to find the property because I was eager to go. I didn't care about anything else. I just wanted to get the property, get going, and not have to worry about anything. So I was eager, and I ended up getting scammed because I didn't know the red flags to look for that a coach would have taught me when pursuing rental arbitrage. So like I had mentioned, I was making between 8 to 10K a month on Airbnb already. Like, why do I need a coach? The coach is not gonna, the coaches are already marketing how to get to 10K a month. It didn't, it wasn't, I didn't feel like it was important. So that's how I got scammed, because I didn't actually learn from an expert. And just so you guys know, it does not matter how much money you're making, because at the end of the day, you may not realize that you're doing things wrong, and you might just be making money because you're a good hustler. So I lost a little over 4K, and my girlfriend lost money on all the furniture that she ordered. We actually ordered furniture and everything before we even had the property. That was a dumb decision too, looking back. So lesson number 5, always invest in a mentor or coach. They're there to help you and avoid the mistakes that they would have already made. While the financial reward is part of it for the coach, their true purpose is to guide you towards your success. So it's easy to make that discernment with a coach. You kind of know what a coach has best interest for you or not. So this is a good lesson to remember, especially since we're here. But at this point, I'm in the hole with my credit. My girlfriend doesn't trust me. My pride wants me to pursue Airbnb, and I want to prove her and myself wrong. And I know that I have to cut all other ships. So I took out a loan for what I lost, destroyed my credit to pursue a goal, and I bought as many Airbnb courses as possible. A few weeks later, I shut down my agency to focus on Airbnb. I put my other unit on Airbnb and moved out to Couchsurf. And a few weeks later, I had a booking for that unit. And then 2 months later, I burned all ships, including my job, with no savings to focus all in on Airbnb. Lesson number 6, burn all ships, distractions, and go all in. I still had one major issue. Because I no longer could get approved for a lease due to my credit, I had to use the info that I was taught to scale my Airbnb portfolio from 2 units to 15 units in 6 months by leveraging other people and operating as a co-host on properties that I couldn't afford. After thousands of phone calls, I actually cracked the code on how to get a yes from a property owner, which got real interesting. I got really good at acquiring units, and I started coaching students on how to get units. Now, it didn't last that long because I wanted to help people get units, and what I realized was there was a conflict between coaching and helping people get units, because helping people get units requires me to actually do other work outside of coaching them. And so I have to figure out what I want to do the most. But I would essentially find properties that allowed subleasing, and then I would build an email list for anyone that was interested in starting, and I would send the email to them based off the property that I found. And I would do this for free. I did this for the first 70 people for free just to prove that I was qualified to do it. In November 2021, I turned property finding into a real service and quit coaching full-time. In April, remember I told you guys, when I had a job and no business, I would predict that in May of 2022, I would make 70K. Well, a month before, I made 60K. And I had 930 Instagram followers, and I never ran ads before for any Airbnb service or anything. So number 7, the universe will reward you when you set a goal and take action. The goal will actually find you. This is how June to December was looking. And then in December 2022, I closed on a building called Yotel Pad in Miami. We leased out all their units in the building for Airbnb. Coaches wanted to provide properties to their students. Developers wanted to send us properties, and realtors wanted to list properties with us. I was making some pretty decent money from coaches, and I did this without coaching, without running ads, without showing my face, and by simply solving a serious problem for people. So I created a platform in January 2022, and all we did was allow property owners to upload their properties approved for Airbnb sublease so that Airbnb operators could lease them. And people were claiming units. It was going pretty well. People were signing leases. And truth is, I actually didn't understand how to be a true business owner and managing all departments with efficiency while keeping the money flowing. This is why I say you can be a hustler, but you may not actually know exactly what you're doing. So getting a coach is something that I had to do, but I didn't find any mentors in my lane that were doing what I did. So it was very, very difficult because they were running companies like Zillow, apartments.com, and rents.com. So I actually had no idea what I was doing. And to fully understand how to manage a team of 31 employees as well that I had, like I was just shooting stuff at the wall. Like people had 401ks and benefits because I saw it online, and it just, you know. But it was because I was making so much money. Like I had never experienced that in my life. So, you know, obviously you fail, and I had to lay off my team. Like, you know, it was my first time laying people off. That was fun. You know, it was like, but I was still a hustler, and I had a business that was thriving, but no real direction. So I found a system, of course, that was working for 1,000 new customers every month when I actually lost it all. And by April of 2023, I had nothing to my name, and I had to lay off 24 employees in 3 weeks. Lesson number 8, nobody cares about your problems, keep going. I spent the summer couch surfing and using all my credit and real estate income to pay my team. I depleted everything. I literally was behind on my mortgage, $21,000, and depleted my grace period to even keep my property. Luckily, I still kept my property. My belief in Zine was so strong that I had no other option. I literally saw no other option. And I was still paying my team members, and they stayed, and they were even making 50% less than what they was already like getting before. That leads me to lesson number 9. Keep the ones who support you at your lowest close. During this time, I actually watched videos of anything related to Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Rich Barton, who is the owner of Zillow, CoStar Group, which owns apartments.com, and any other company that has made billions from influencers. So I had taken action on everything, and the goal for me was to find the people that have created the highest results and take action on that, because if they're doing the highest thing, then I feel like if I take action on the highest thing that they're doing, I'm gonna get the highest results as well. So lesson number 10, study the highest level and immediately take action to get the highest level of results. During this low point, I was still serving new coaches and saw this as an opportunity for the students, burning money. All that mattered to me was my customers and clients. And for the remainder of the year, I was actually building the next version of Zine from a combination of all these lessons learned and creating the efficiency with only 7 employees. Now, lesson number 11, even the biggest companies were unprofitable for years, and they kept building. I was still burning through money just to keep the company alive. I was driving Uber, and in January 2024, we launched Zine 2.0, and now I'm kind of numb to, you know, making money at this point because I've had the lows and I've had the ups. But lesson number 12, which is super important, money flows in direct proportion to the value you provide, regardless of how you feel, think, act, or navigate life's challenges. Focus on creating value and the rest will follow. So how is Zine being leveraged in 2024? For Airbnb operators, we simply give them access to unlimited properties approved for Airbnb sublease nationwide. For coaches who have students, we actually give them access to properties unlimited. They have a dedicated success rep to help them get a lease. They get guaranteed affiliate commission, so they get 30% off of all invoices. They have a fully white labeled platform, so they get to have their logo on our platform. Anything onboarding wise is all their brand, All emails is their brand. Their front-facing website is their brand. The support chat is their brand. They think they're talking to the coaches program, but they're really talking to our team. They get unlimited support, and they get access to any future updates. So what we actually do for the coaches who have students is they get access to properties. They have the ability for the student to send us properties that they like on Zillow, and then send them to us for us to confirm Airbnb for them and send them back to them approved for Airbnb. They can also, we also send those students properties directly based off the criteria. So if the student wants a property that's a 3-bedroom with a rent of $3K a month and it's in Houston, we'll send them properties based off that criteria. And then they have the ability to sign unlimited leases through the help of ZFind. So lesson number 13, if you quit, you'll never witness the breakthrough waiting on the other side of persistence. So why were these lessons important? This is the last slide, and it's because success is rooted in solving problems, believing fiercely in your vision and mastering valuable skills. Set bold goals and align your actions with the energy that you put into the universe. Invest in mentorship to avoid unnecessary mistakes and go all in by removing distractions. Stay resilient through challenges, keep supportive people close, and continuously study and take action at the highest level. Understand that value creation drives financial success, and persistence is key. Quitting will never lead you to the results that you seek. Even in the toughest times, keep building and trust the process.
Trust the process. Are y'all trusting the process?
So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know I didn't teach you guys a bunch of things, but the teaching was in the lessons. So hopefully you took notes. If you need those lessons, just talk to me sometime after, and I'll dive a little deeper. But I truly appreciate you all. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. It's very impactful, very insightful. These are amazing coaches. I've talked to them all. So pay attention, learn, and take action. Thank you.
It's not enough.